Hey everybody, Matt with Freestand here. Got a special guest, another Etsy seller, on the show today. I don't know if you just sell on Etsy, but we'll get into that. And the name of her business is called The Vintage Royalty. Um, they sell handmade jewelry for the most part, looking to kind of develop a lifestyle brand moving forward. But at the moment, just handmade jewelry. And her name, which I didn't get to mention yet, is Mina Osei Kufor. And Mina, where are you based?
I'm based in Chicago.
So she's in the Chicago area. Second Chicago guest on the show. Uh, so anyway, thank you for meeting with me. I appreciate it. And all right, we'll hop right into it then. So, what is the Vintage Royalty? How did you get started? Kind of what's the whole background story behind it?
So I've always kind of been a creative person. In college, funny enough, flunked out of my fashion degree and had to um, switch to a business major. But anyway, as I graduated and kind of moved back home and was trying to figure out what's next, I was kind of making jewelry just to keep my creativity flowing. I've always wanted to kind of have my own fashion brand, so I was just making the jewelry for myself and for friends and things like that, and decided to open my Etsy page and go from there. The original pieces were almost similar to like paper mache. I was making everything out of paper. And it was really cool looking, but the longevity wasn't really there. So over the years, after, being in all different types of fashion roles, I kind of stumbled upon this company that made acrylic, um, almost like acrylic remnants. Like they were an acrylic company, but they cut out little geometric shapes with the acrylic sheets that they had left over from orders. And I started buying them all up and just making the jewelry from there. And it kind of took off after that.
That's very cool. That's a cool story. So you were at school and it didn't work out with the fashion degree. So then you moved back home and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm just going to work on my business, or I'm going to start a business essentially.
Yeah.
Um, and then was it just that, or was there anything else in between? Was it just like you kind of moved back home and you're like, I'm just going to work on this, or was there anything else like did
Oh,
you
yeah.
work at any jobs or anything like that?
Yeah, there's tons of stuff in between. I graduated from school in 2007. So that seems like a lifetime ago for a lot of people. So in 2009, I actually moved to New York, and that was a huge factor in the business. That's where I found the acrylic companies. I interned for a lot of big fashion companies. And that's where I kind of got the confidence to really pursue the company. So moving to New York City was a big, big part of it.
And how long did you live in New York for?
Almost 8 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I really didn't want to give up, and then I gave up.
And then so where in New York were you? Manhattan, Brooklyn?
Yes, I was in Manhattan pretty much the whole time, and then the last year I was there, I moved to Queens.
Okay, nice. I'm in Brooklyn, so over
Oh,
the bridge.
cool.
Yeah. Um so anyway, so you were there for 8 years and you were started working on this in 2009 or 2007?
2008 is when I opened the Etsy store. And then 2009 is when I moved to New York. It was always something that was just a hobby for a long time. And then fast forward 10 years, I kind of was ready to just really put all of my energy into it and make it an official business and do all this other stuff. So that happened in 2019 is when I finally registered as a business and took it more seriously and put more time and effort into it.
Got it.
So,
So
mhm.
2019, you established like actually like make an LLC, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. And
Mhm.
now you're still, so you'd been selling on Etsy for like 10 years almost. That's
Yeah,
a long time. You're
like 12.
honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like one of the first people on Etsy. I think Etsy was started in, I mean, not one of the first, but you were
No,
really early.
honestly, like I was so early that at the time they were sending out people to like speak to the vendors that were participating in their company. I think I was probably one of the top of like the first 1,000 people probably on there.
Probably, yeah, because it started, I think they started it in like 2004.
Yeah,
So you were very early, which
very
I'm
early.
sure has probably done well for you, right? Like, how has Etsy done?
Well, surprisingly, I kind of was under their radar for the most of the time I was on there, and early February of last year, so 2020, after being on there for 10 plus years, they wanted to promote my company for Black History Month.
It's awesome.
And after they did that, it kind of really took off after that.
So they promoted it for Black History Month, and then your Etsy sales just went up a ton.
Yeah, they just catapulted. I think, I was always making quality products, and I had like these little, cult followers for the most part, but not a lot of eyes were on the company. And I think having that promotion really kind of put more attention onto the brand. And then when uh, COVID popped up and everybody was searching for masks, I, bust out my old sewing machine and started selling masks on Etsy just to stay relevant, because no one was buying jewelry. No one cared to buy jewelry at that time. So
They were too focused on toilet paper.
yeah, toilet
Yeah,
paper and surviving the apocalypse. So I started making masks, and that's when really it just kind of like catapulted after that. Um, because I did it early enough where, these corporate companies weren't making them yet and people couldn't find them. So Etsy was really the only place that people could go to find masks at that time. So it was really like beneficial for me as far as being having something that everybody needed and wanted versus just something that was just, a fashion accessory. It was definitely beneficial for the company.
that's really cool. And do you know how many masks you sold? Because I was thinking that, I think everybody was thinking that back in early March, like, oh, let's make masks, like let's find
Yeah,
let's find hand sanitizer. So
it was rough. I In the beginning I was doing it all by myself, and I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many I sold. Probably, if I was to put a number on it, probably 1,000 masks,
that's a lot of
maybe.
masks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
handmade. So
Handmade, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
What
it
were
was
they? $5 a mask, $10 a mask, $2 a mask,
15. I was
15
selling them.
bucks a mask. That's not bad.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
good.
it was good. I mean, it was very. I think people don't realize how much time one mask takes to create, but I'm very happy I did it because it definitely brought more attention to the brand.
And you also could have saved some lives. Who knows?
Yeah, I could have.
You could
I
have.
don't
So
know.
somebody wasn't able to get a mask, then they found you, and
Yeah,
you
I
saved them.
could have.
Yeah. But anyway, so and now do you have a standalone website as well, or is it just Etsy still?
Yes, I have a standalone website via Squarespace called thevintageroyalty.com. That is where I have the bulk of my inventory. I also have a new wedding collection that just came out. So that's on there. I also sell through different local boutiques. And then I'm on this really cool website called fair.com, where
Hmm.
it's like a place where basically companies or businesses that own brick and mortar stores or websites can go on there and find unique vendors to carry in their store. So
Yeah, I've heard about Fair. Fair seems like it's an amazing thing because it allows you guys to not just sell to retail, not to like retail customers. You can
Exactly.
sell, yeah, as opposed to selling to just like regular, um, consumers. You can actually sell to a business, which is great. Great.
Right. And then like, the owners that run their stores, they want the items to sell as well. So it's like free promotion for you when they are posting about you. If the items sell well, they continuously reorder, and it's almost like a PayPal for companies because there's really no risk involved. They don't have to like, you know, buy something and they're not sure if it's a scam or not. Like Fair makes it very easy for people to feel comfortable with what they're purchasing for their stores.
And how does it work? So if say I have a retail store,
Mm-hmm.
and I sell tons of different jewelry and clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and I go on there and I see that, I like your stuff. Do you send it to me and then it's just like on consignment, or it's like like whenever I sell it, you make money, or do they buy it outright from you?
They buy it outright. Fair makes it very comfortable for first time retailers. So sometimes they give you a discount or a coupon or something like that to try out new businesses. So you buy it outright. Um, Fair takes their cut and then they pay you once you ship it out, pretty much. Um, if the client doesn't like what they purchased, Fair refunds them, but they don't take the money back from um, the person who made the items.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why they do that, but it makes me very happy because I don't have to worry about it.
Wow. So even if I wanted to return it, they
Mhm.
wouldn't. You don't have to, like, once you sell it, you sell it.
Correct.
Wow, that's really great. I mean, I'm
Right.
guessing they've probably figured out like a level of error, or not error, but like I'm sure they've factored in the amount of times that that happens. It's
Yeah.
probably not enough for it to really make an impact on them. So they're just saying, look, if it does happen, we'll take care of it.
Right. And then maybe they sell it out. Who knows? It
Who
could be a
knows?
situation like TJ Maxx where companies, when if they have products that they can't sell, they sell it to somebody else. So maybe I don't know what they do with it, but um, I think I've had maybe one return since I've been with them, and I never had to pay it back. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool market. For anybody who's listening, I'm just going to explain it really quickly. So
Hmm.
pretty much Fair is like a B2B marketplace. So as opposed to a B2C marketplace where, like Etsy, where all these different creators create stuff and then sell it to regular end customers, Fair Market allows two businesses to connect, specifically retailers to creators, right? So if I had a retail store, I could buy something from Mina on the marketplace and then put that product in my retail store and sell it. And it's a big marketplace so that these retailers can access all these different cool, unique stuff and items that creators make. But the main thing that Fair is kind of selling is saying, hey, retailers take a lot of risk when they buy this stuff, right? Because they don't know if people are really going to want it until they put it in the
Right.
store. So they're saying, hey, buy it. There's no risk. If it doesn't sell and you want your money back, we'll give you your money back, which
Exactly.
is really kind of crazy. Um,
I'm sure there's a threshold where
there's got to be.
they cut it off, but because there's everything on there. There's furniture, there's candles, there's anything you could possibly think of is on this website. So I'm sure there's a threshold. If it's under a couple hundred, they probably just cover it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been cool. I know people who have done really well on that website. Um, so it's great to get your products worldwide, really, without the risk on your end, and the retailer doesn't have the risk either. So
Yeah. And you don't need to set up a retail store or get into, a chain of stores or whatever. You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
it's simple.
Mhm.
Um, Very cool. And so in 2019, you
Mhm.
started the website, right? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And how's that been going? How do you do you still have the Etsy page, by the way?
I do.
Okay. So what is the dynamic between the two? Do you see, think you have more sales coming through Etsy, coming through the website? Also, how do you drive traffic to the website to get those sales?
So I definitely have more sales on Etsy, just because, it's one of those things that people just go to find gifts. If you're an unknown artist, no one's going to know you have a website, lurking on Google somewhere. So Etsy is a great way to get new clients. It's almost like if you were going to a vendor market, like Artisan Fleas in Brooklyn, if you were going to something like that, that's what Etsy is for people to find and find new things. And because of the promotions that they've given me, I definitely receive more more sales through Etsy. In order to drive people to my website is, as you know, it's very tricky. I try to only promote the website on Instagram. I hardly ever promote Etsy on Instagram unless I am talking about something that is only on Etsy. I put all my new merchandise on my website. So the wedding collection is only on my website. I have a new collection coming out in May that will only be on my website. So if people want that, that's where they have to go to get it. I used to offer jewelry making classes virtually.
That's so
And
cool.
yeah, so that, in order to participate in that, they had to go to the website. So I'm constantly trying to drive people there. It's an everyday struggle, of course, but I appreciate Etsy for giving me a platform to kind of find customers worldwide and not have to really work that hard for it when it comes to Etsy. So,
Yeah, I think that's kind of the trade-off, right? Is like Etsy and these marketplaces bring you the customers, but then of course they take their cut, and
sure.
also which they probably deserve.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, like it'd be better if you could have that extra 10%. But in order to get that 10%, you got to promote it yourself. So it's like
Exactly.
that's the trade-off. So I find this with like a lot of people that I talk to is like they'll start off on Etsy and then they'll move to a standalone site, or they'll keep both.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like kind of everybody's always relying on Instagram to
Mm-hmm.
send traffic to their site. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's in your learning. 10 years ago, there was no Instagram. There was, Facebook, and, you know, I don't even know what else I was on. So it's beneficial to have social media to help you, um, almost to help you like explain your story with pictures, or be able to house everything in one location where people can kind of see like, oh, she's on Etsy and she's on a website and she does this and she does that. Like you can put everything there, um, and it makes it just easy for people to understand your brand, and it makes it easy to kind of very easy to kind of dig through the analytics and see who your customer is, where they're coming from, what they're gravitating towards, all that stuff. So
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah, it is. And in terms of your Etsy page, are you able to link your website in your Etsy page? Because for some
Mm-mm.
reason, I didn't think so too, and I saw somebody that I was talking to, and they somehow had a link in there, and I was
Oh,
like, "Whoa!" Like I didn't know that was a
I
thing.
didn't know that was a thing. I have it on there in my kind of like
Bio.
announcement area. Like if they want more pieces, or if they want to see the wedding collection, I kind of tell them to go there. But I didn't know that there was a way to link.
Unless
Um,
I'm crazy, but I could have sworn I clicked on a link on their page and it went straight to their website. And I was like really confused. I was like, why would they allow them to do that?
right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, Well, very cool, Mina. I don't want to keep you much longer because I know you're really busy. We got on a little bit late,
Yeah,
but thank you for meeting with me. This was a lot of fun.
of
And
course.
how can people find you? What's the Instagram? What is the website?
So my Instagram is Vintage Royalty, just how it sounds. There's no the in there, so it's just Vintage Royalty for Instagram and Facebook. My website is thevintageroyalty.com, and you should be able to find me on Etsy just by typing uh, that name in as well. I'm pretty grandfathered in, so I come up pretty much right away if you know what you're looking for, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's how you can find me.
Very cool. All righty. Well, I'll make sure to include all of that in the details in this. Otherwise, I think we covered it all. So thank you, Mina, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All righty. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.